Alpha Omega Veteran Services has been quietly making noise for the Mid-South veterans for over 35 years. We had humble beginnings, the mother of two sons who came back from Vietnam, and they were damaged with PTSD and suffering from different problems of just being in the war. She couldn't find anything to help her children. So she stepped out on faith, opened up a rental property that she used for income for her family, and housed her veterans and got social workers and people to come in and help take care of her children. As a mother, I can really relate to that. We have been one of the first facilities in the United States to offer supportive services to displaced and disabled veterans in the Mid-South. We provide homeless veterans with supportive housing and all the services needed to totally reintegrate back into society. We were the first organization of its kind in Memphis and one of the first in the United States. We have assisted over 14,000 veterans, both with housing, information, referral, and other services. We have a success rate of reintegration back into society of 90%. At full capacity, we offer over 80 veterans day. We house 80 veterans daily at one of our 5 housing facilities. 60% of our staff are veterans or former clients or both. Transitional supportive housing is being run by our program manager, Linda Andrews. She has 2 to 3 people that report to her that are actively working with the veterans. We have a peer recovery specialist named Kevin Farrell, who is actually a graduate of the program, and he was one of the first certified peer recovery specialists in Memphis. The cost is income based. We are subsidized by the Veterans Administration GPD program. There is no cost if the veteran has no income. Each veteran has an individualized program plan geared to fully reintegrating back into society. And what that means is each person fills out an information packet when they come in. We know what medications they are on. We know what physical ailments they have. All of our veterans come through us through the VA homeless program, and that includes permanent housing as well. The name supportive housing is a little bit more complex than just food, clothing, and shelter. We make referrals to education, individual and group counseling. We work with our peer recovery specialist comes in, and not only will he do one-on-one with our veterans, but he also does group meetings early in the morning. We provide information referral to job training, job placement. We actually have people that come in and teach them how to keep a checkbook, maybe learn how to do budgeting. And a lot of that information, a lot of the programs that we partner with are through the United Way. We also provide referrals and advocacy for any veteran in need, whether they are part of our housing program or not. Our largest facility, which is our main facility, is at 1183 Madison. It normally houses 15 veterans at full capacity, but due to COVID and CDC and VA safety protocols, we now house our veterans in hotel rooms. That way they have their own space, their own restrooms, their own showers, and there's no cross-contamination. Congregate living is quickly becoming a thing of the past, and we are ready to change and move on. At this facility, we have an outdoor covered patio, which is really great for events like ice cream socials or painting. We had someone from Painting with a Twist come out and just do some free painting with our veterans. It was really, really nice. We still have some of the art hung in our facility. This other picture shows one of our veterans dancing. He was actually stepping. And because we did have a sorority come by and drop off gifts for our veterans on Veterans Day. Our Benton Avenue facility was opened in 2005 as a PTSD program. The VA quickly learned that they needed to do in-house PTSD, but we stood in the gap for the beginning of this particular house. At the time we had veterans there, we housed up to 15 veterans. We are hoping that this will become our feature home female veteran transitional housing program, and that is awaiting funding. This is one of our success stories. His name is Paul. He did a little United Way video about his dream of owning a home. He doesn't quite own a home, but he did move out and he lives in his own apartment and is reconnected with his family. One of the things that is one of the most important things we do with our veterans is reconnect, try to get them reconnected with their family, because they have burned bridges by the time we get to them sometimes. And that is always critical to their reintegration. All of the rent in our permanent supportive housing is income-based and subsidized by HUD. Our permanent housing program manager is Jewel Weatherspoon. She's very active in the community. She goes out and she does her outreach. Even though all of our veterans that come into the permanent supportive housing do go through the VA homeless program, and we do that because we may not be the best suit for them. There may be other housing programs that are a little better suited for that particular veteran. The utilities are paid and they have discounted cable access for some of the units. We have supportive permanent housing, offers food, clothing if needed, referrals for education, individual and group counseling, training and job placement as long as needed. Our goal here is it's another stepping stone. Once they've gone through the 60-day to 2-year program in transitional, we can move them into permanent supportive and they can stay with us. And if they're older, a lot of them do kind of just stay longer than they should because they're really at home. And then we also have what we want them, if they are able, to go on and move out and find their own home. I've had veterans get married, move into new houses. I've had one that moved to the beach, one that bought a house out in Bartlett. So it's always wonderful when we see them succeed, and we are constantly being visited by veterans we have served in the past. Our court facility opened in 2004. It houses a maximum of 32 veterans in 1-bedroom garden apartments at full capacity. We have planter beds so they can each have some of it. They can share gardens. We have a laundromat that's there as well as on staff, and we have 24/7 security, both video and on-site after hours. This is our pictures of our gathering area. It's big enough to do a cornhole and contest. We can have classes from the farm. We often have picnics where people come in and spend time with our veterans and cook out for them. It's really, really good. This pavilion was donated by Hilton. Our Ball Road location is on the Defense Depot, and we built this building. It's called the SRO, which stands for Single Resident Occupancy. It was opened in 2008 and houses 10 veterans in studio apartments at full capacity. This particular location houses our dually diagnosed veterans. These are veterans that need a little more hands-on. Dually diagnosed means they have a mental and or physical disability in addition to an addiction problem. And the staff is downstairs through regular staffing hours, but we again have overnight security as well as 24-hour video that is monitored. This is the inside in the living room area. We've had a donation come through. Valero always uses their days of caring through the United Way of the Mid-South for their volunteers to come out and do some wonderful work for us. They came in and painted this room, which at one time was all white, so it's a little sterile, and they donated the furniture and the decor in 3 of our rooms at this facility to make it more like home. And it does. It looks like I would like to have that in my house. And then we have a kitchen that's a community area where if they want to get together and cook as a group, they can, or if one wants to cook for the group, they can. But it gives them access to do a little bit different things as they're going on, as well as we keep a pantry there just in case they need anything. Our Ball Road Depot townhouses were existing buildings when the land was donated to us from the Department of Defense. It houses a maximum of 32 veterans. They live in a 4-bedroom townhouse at full capacity. These are duplex buildings, 4 bedrooms on each side, and these veterans tend to be a little more independent, but it also allows them to live with other veterans who don't want to be alone. They're used to being with people, so that's their choice. I think it's really helpful to be able to offer different types of housing for these veterans, because not everybody fits into a tiny little studio apartment. Jacob Padilla is one of our success stories. He is now living in another state. He has moved on from Alpha Omega. He is a functioning member of society after 4+ years of sobriety. He reconnected with the love of his life, and they're expecting a child. And his last note to us: I'm excited to work toward being the best father and husband I can be. Melvin is our chef. He works for us at the Madison facility. He cooks for the transitional housing program, which, even though they are all in a hotel, he does still provide lunch and dinner. They get breakfast provided at the hotel. And so what we do is he cooks the lunch, plates it up, and we deliver it, or they come and pick it up, depending on what's going on. He's one of our best guys. He's been around for 17 years. We consider him family, and he considers us family. And we have found through the years that we still have veterans that will stop by and say, hey, I went through there. It worked for me. Thank you. Part of the resocialization program that we have includes nights out we take them to the movie, to the zoo, different places like that, fishing trips. But we also go out and get dressed up at the night at the opera. We went to an opera called The Rising and the Fall, and it's a story about a veteran with a traumatic brain injury. Night at the Grizzlies, we get free Grizzly tickets. They're our partners. And Night at the Redfords, we were honored as the nonprofit of the game. All of these things gets them out and about, because if they're not comfortable in large groups at first, but we gradually move them into it. And each time they go and each time they get a little bit better, their confidence improves, and it's wonderful. We also partner with Southern Rain's Equine Therapy for Heroes. This program is absolutely incredible. It is a free program for our veterans who use equine therapy, and many of these veterans just fell in love with their horses, and they want to keep going forever. Our largest addition to our location is the Urban Farm. Alpha Omega Urban Farm this is an overview of what it looks like. It sits between our SRO and our Defense Depot townhouses. The Urban Farm and Garden began in 2018. It provides fresh food, eggs, and honey to our veterans. We have the best tomatoes and the best cucumbers and sweet potatoes that I've ever tasted. They're all grown. They're organically grown, and they use organic practices, but we don't have the USDA certification of organics. We do have certified naturally grown, which is a step below it, but it means that we use organic practices to use. We just don't have the USDA certification. Half of our crops are distributed to our veterans, and the remainder are sold to several local restaurants that cook organic, as well as the Cooper Young Farmers Market each Saturday during its season. These are just a few photos. This has got to be high summer, and then we have a winter, a cooler time where they're not as much growing. I always learn something new when I go to the farm. We do have a working greenhouse, and we often will grow sprouts and pass them along. These are our beehives and our chickens. They have the best chicken coop in Memphis. We serve jars of honey. We sell that at the market. Turnips, turnip greens, carrots. And I've already talked about the heirloom tomatoes. They're amazing. We have our own cookbook. And if you want to get a copy of it, just let us know. Give me a call at Alpha Omega and we'll make sure you get one. It is the first edition and we hope to have more, but this particular one has veteran recipes, and it has farm staff recipes and little anecdotal stories about the farm and the veterans. These are some of our volunteers speaking to volunteers for the farm specifically. They can have large groups, but they schedule them once a month. And so if you're interested in volunteering on the farm, I know that they've already filled up through May of 2022. Just get in touch with us if you're interested in a large group coming out. The future. The future is so bright for Alpha Omega. This is our location on Jackson Avenue. It is a former Marine Corps Reserve Center. It is 6.5 acres centrally located, and we will transform it into a state-of-the-art facility for our veterans. We'll provide support, the same supportive services, studio apartments, gym and exercise, PC labs, library, classrooms, as well as a music room. We are so excited. And in doing that, we are hoping to be in there by next year. We begin groundbreaking next month. We have fundraising events. We only have 2 major events every year. One is the Masquerade Ball. We are in our 6th year. It is at the Ansdale Historic Mansion. You can come out and enjoy yourself and do good work. As well as the Golf Classic. We're in our 17th year coming up. We honor our fallen at 9/11. We do this on every Monday, the Monday after that's closest to the 9/11. Our federal funding comes from FEMA, the Veterans Administration, and the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Our local agency funding, of course, is United Way of the Mid-South and Slingshot. Our corporate and volunteer support comes from all these wonderful companies. As I said, we had volunteers from Valero, we've had volunteers from Lehman Roberts. We've got volunteers that come out from Conway and Kroger and Hilton, all AutoZone, Nike, FedEx. We are so excited to be a part of Driving the Dream, and as well as the United Way Days of Caring. That is where we make many of our contacts. Our foundation support is through the Plow Foundation, the Thomas Briggs Foundation, the Community Foundation of Greater Memphis, as well as James and Anita Horn Jenkins Foundation. We are present on, we have a website and social media. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. If you have any other questions and you would like to speak with someone from Alpha Omega, please feel free to contact me, Vicki Azlin, the Director of Development. We are in the process of retooling our volunteer opportunities due to the transfer to the new location, as well as having our veterans in the hotels. We just can't do we can't do volunteers there. We ensure our access so our veterans have access by partnering with local community groups like Community Alliance for the Homeless, American Legion, the VA and HUD, of course. The VA homeless program is incredibly important for us. Our quality is tracked through the VA and HUD on HMIS, and we even have one of our supporters, the Slingshot Foundation, will embed themselves, and they have in the last 3 years. And what they do is look at what we do and measure our poverty fighting ability through the data we collect on daily information, as well as through the HMIS system. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.